No AI is going to be able to dust a shelf.
Exactly. So
Hi there, you're watching The Light of Care, the podcast about our company FirstLight Home Care of San Francisco and the Peninsula. Our goal is to provide comfort, company, and respite care to elders in need. This podcast aims to educate seniors and their families about the resources and support available to help them live well and age with confidence. I'm your host, Lynn Carteris, and today I'm here with Ki Siadatan, founder and head of Emerging Technologies. He'll share insights on how to make healthy aging more accessible and affordable while helping communities become dementia-ready and age positive. Welcome to the show, Ki.
thank you. It's great to be here, Lynn.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Tell us about your background and what inspired you to start BrainMeetsBytes.
So my background is, feels like a lifetime ago. I was in technology, both in with tech firms and also .coms before they went .gon. And around that time, I decided I wanted to do something different. So I pivoted from technology to healthcare. Spent the last decade plus really focusing on our seniors, senior care, especially with a focus on dementia. But that passion for technology, emerging tech never went away. And the more I was involved in healthcare, I realized that, again, there's a synergy there, and there's a need there. And so I've remained very much active in both areas, if you will, and realized that there needs to be a bridge.
Oh, that's amazing. So what is BrainMeetsBytes? And why focus on the intersection of brain health, longevity, and emerging technology?
Sure. So it's a platform. It's a digital platform where we communicate. And I describe it like this. If you imagine a Venn diagram and you've got three circles, in the first circle you've got brain health. In the next circle you've got longevity and health span. In that third circle you've got emerging technologies. Where these circles intersect, right? That's where we live. That's where BrainMeetsBytes finds its purpose, right? To basically, again, shine a light on these technologies and to help folks that are developing these technologies bring them to light in a way that reaches everybody. One of the things that we're really focused on, and when I say we, I mean myself and my partner Rebecca, we focus on making sure that as all of these great innovations come forward, that they're available to everybody.
Explain to me what your process is. Like, does somebody find you and then you walk them through this information? Like, how does this work?
Right now, what we're trying to do is, again, I mentioned earlier that we're a bridge, and that's how we view ourselves, right? Is we're out there, we're very connected. My background in healthcare and technology, my partner Rebecca's background in population health and as a clinical nurse, right? We're very much connected to people that are working in all these different fields.
So you're educators.
And we're educators. And what we are, though, we're also relationship builders, right? Is understanding that, okay, what this person's working on over here would really make sense to that person. Let's make that introduction. Let's see if there's a way to get these folks to work together. Because, one of the things that we believe is innovation dies in silos, right? And so the best way that we can promote innovation and make innovation go forward is by connecting those innovators to those folks that can help them bring those ideas to life.
So how does that information get out?
I'll give you an example because you brought up AI, right? Is so many people are afraid of AI. And listen, AI has its pros and cons as anything else does, but AI obviously is a big hot topic these days. From a consumer side, the consumers are like, well, wait a minute, should I engage with this AI? What's this AI going to do for me? For businesses like yours, the question is, well, hey, is AI going to, for example, is it going to replace people, right? And so let's focus on that for a minute, right? Because I look at AI as a tool, and the way that I look at AI is that AI is a way to tackle those redundant, repetitive, time-consuming tasks so that our caregivers, for example, can spend more time with the people they're caring for.
I don't disagree with you that AI is a great tool. It also scares me to death because I've already can see what it does on the back end and the hacking and the ease that people are having getting into people's lives, and that part makes me nervous. But from a medical point of view, I think AI is a 100% game changer.
I'm smiling because I just had that conversation with my son. He's 18, about to go off to college,
Yep.
and he's really passionate about this, and he expresses a lot of the same concerns you did. From the healthcare standpoint, and I can touch on a few things, but for example, what some of this technology will help us do, and for example, your caregivers, right, is, let's say you've got a resident or a client that you care for on a regular basis. Let's say you have technologies that you can bring into their home that are cost effective. They're going to notice things like changes in patterns of behavior, changes in their gait, how they walk.
You mean actual like cameras or something
Sensors,
that they talk into?
And
sensor,
there are
okay.
some. In fact, there's a company out there developed a product called Augie, right? For example. So what that does is it basically maintains privacy. It's all within HIPAA regulations, right? But what it does is it generates these stick figure images, right? So that you have a sense of privacy. But what it does is and what other technologies I've seen as well do is, for example, watch things like changes in gait, when somebody might start to become, for example, a fall risk, right? And if you know that somebody is starting to become more of a fall risk, would you take additional precautions and put them in place, right?
Interesting. I mentioned in the beginning about age positive. What does that mean? And can senior living providers and families, what can they do to make that real?
Age positive for us means being in a society, being in a community, right, where our elderly are not viewed as just recipients of care, but as folks who are independent and can give back and have something to contribute, right? That they're viewed with dignity, that they have something to offer, right? And so as long as we build smart cities, smart environments, smart homes, right, where they can live and thrive. And maybe they don't contribute the way that they used to, but they still can contribute in the ways that they can now. Let's focus on what they can do today, not what they can't do anymore, right? And so that's what we talk about age positive.
I love that.
Listen, aging is something that's going to impact every living human being on this planet. We're all going to age. Nobody is immune from aging, right?
Nope.
And so understanding that when we talk about the challenges that our aging population faces, it's not just today's aging population, it's tomorrow's.
Decades. Right.
Exactly, right. And so they've got to be part of the conversation as well. They can be part of the solution.
Everybody's living longer. So the generations are getting like this. It's not just 75, 80, everyone's gone. I mean, we know we have centenarians that are under our care, and it's a aging population, but it's going a lot slower because people are living a lot longer.
They are, and one of the areas, and you're touching on one of the areas that is really a huge focus for us, which is to shift the conversation from aging and longevity to health span. Right? Because it's not just about living longer, but what do you have with those extra years that you have, right? All of us know that person that lived to 90, 95 years old, but in the last 10 years of their life, right, they were not as active, they were actually, if not sick, right, needed a lot of help. What we're saying is the focus should be on health span, not only to be given an extra 10, 15 years, but to have those be 10, 15 years where you can be active and thrive and be independent,
and have
right?
Something to do.
Correct.
Yeah, that's awesome. What does a truly dementia-ready community look like? And how do we get there using both human and technological solutions?
When we talk about, communities that are dementia friendly, what we're saying is everybody from the receptionist to the CEO, from the grocery store clerk to the postal office clerk to your first responders, have a basic understanding of dementia and that we eradicate the stigmas that come with dementia and understand how to interact with people who have dementia. Because let's face it, they're all around us, right? Dementia, Alzheimer's, for example, other dementias, right, are growing at a rapid pace. And until we can find a solution, find a cure, right, we know that we've got to not only care for these folks, but understand that, again, they're not something to be afraid of. They're a human being that has lived a life of purpose and meaning and dignity, and they should still be treated that way.
I have one last question for you. Please tell our camera and our people how to get a hold of you.
Easiest way is going to be through BrainMeetsBytes.com or through just find me on LinkedIn. And so always happy to talk to anybody who's interested in this field, in this area, anybody who's got a passion for longevity, health span, brain health, dementia. Let's talk. The more we talk, the more we learn from one another, and the more we all grow.
We appreciate you being here so much. I'm so excited to watch this journey and hopefully be a big part of it.
Thank you.
I'm really grateful you showed up. If you'd like to learn more about Brain Meets Bites and discover the latest brain health innovations, check out the links in the description. We've got more interviews on the way. For now, a huge thank you to my team for bringing this podcast to life. For more information, check out our website at FirstLightHomeCare.com and follow us on social media pages. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.